gonna do a little series called Daily Driving with a G63 4x4 squared. Everybody says it can't be done. I've even been told daily driving a G63 is too much. Listen, I had a G63 for 2 years, in 2021. Didn't do anything to it. Magneto black, blacked out the windows, but basically stock car. Phenomenal daily driver, and I could easily hit 20 miles a gallon in it. We traded that in, got a G63 4x4 squared, waitlist forever. Finally came in, love the vehicle. Now, we're gonna be daily driving and showing how to live with the world's best off-road SUV. I'll say it, I'll back it up. We'll go over that in a minute. And daily driving the world's fastest SUV, Tesla Model X Plaid. But for today, we're gonna start covering a series on the new 2023 4x4 squared G63 G-wagon. What makes it a 4x4 squared? At the end of the day, 4 portal axles, can't beat it. Have we done anything to this vehicle? No, 100% stock. Blacked out all the windows, that looks see-through there, it's not, it's 5% tint. But yeah, we're just gonna go over and really cover what it's like to daily drive and live with a 4x4 squared G63. Listen, I live with this vehicle. I got sweatshirts, bunch of jackets, towel, some artwork I gotta get dropped off when I go in the day for the shop. I got my shop backpack, stuff that I need for work in there. Got a bunch of shit on the floor. Daily drive this car, guys. It can be done. I'll show you how. So what's it like to live with a G-wagon G63 2024 setup? It's the exact same as a 2019 setup. Zero difference, guys. So this is a G63 4x4 squared 2024 brand new release. Only options this has, because it comes with basically everything. It's got the carbon fiber package, so there's carbon fiber everywhere in this damn car. Close the box right there. Obviously it's carbon fiber, small little piece, but there is carbon fiber everywhere on this car. We have the upgraded steering wheel, carbon fiber, Alcantara, but everything else in here is pretty much stock. As in, there are no options I'm aware of the car doesn't have. Now this one is unique. It does have the full roof rack. It does have the teak wood flooring in the back. I'll show you that later. But it's like minute things you can check. These cars come with everything from the factory pretty much upon order. Now this is gonna look really abysmal right now when I go to my trip computer and I show you guys something. So this car, again, I just got it not too long ago. It has 2,359 miles on it. We can show you that here. Oh, stand by. Okay, right there, 2,360 miles. I bought this car with 0.5 miles on it. So it's brand new, as in like, I think they pushed it onto the showroom floor, waiting for me to come get it. So on this trip right here, we're not doing good, man. We're averaging 12.2 miles a gallon. But let's figure out what that actually means. I can easily hit 16 to 18 miles cruising on the highway. Is that good? Is that bad? I think it's actually okay for what we're truly dealing with right here. So backup camera, surround camera, some of the best in the business. Mercedes has, again, some of the best cameras in the business. One thing the 4x4 square does that other G63s do not do is it comes with a digital camera in the rear view mirror as well. So front camera, as you can see, front facing camera. All these other views right here are options. So whether you want to go wide, I always forget this car's on a touchscreen, everything else on the planet's a touchscreen. Wide, where your wheel tracks are. You want to go full surround view with the front. You want to go side marker cameras. You want to go rear camera. You want to go zoomed in rear camera with surround camera. You have options for all of it. I'm a big fan of this view when I'm going forward. But again, phenomenal off-road tool, guys. You can see what's around the vehicle with absolute clarity. You have literally what looks like a 1080p front camera. And you do have the rear view camera, which is adjustable. It's kind of junk like every other rear view camera on the planet is. But yeah, so why do I have a 4x4 squared? I don't know, man. I'm a little kid who liked Tonka trucks. There's no other reason than that. This is a completely unnecessary vehicle that I'm shocked Mercedes even makes. What makes a 4x4 squared very unique? I'll tell you, portal axles. We have a slight snowstorm coming in right now. It was predicted, so that's cool. But why did I get a 4x4 squared, and what actually makes a 4x4 squared very unique in the off-roading world? Well, let's take a look at the old cabin up down the hill. Yee! A lot of dreams are made in that cabin, boy. All right, so what makes it unique? Portal axles, portal axles, portal axles. Obviously, this car has center, front, and rear locking differentials on it. But again, I'm gonna say it one more time, portal axles. If you don't know how unique good and awesome portal axles are, just spend some time, look it up, and do the research. But there's only 3 vehicles that I know of in the history of the automotive world. All right, what is this guy doing? This is gonna be a problem. Stand by. What the fuck is that? Let's get in here and see if we can get a plate a little bit. Figure out who this person is and what this person's doing. They're planting trees. So when you see a truck you don't know out in your neighbor's field in the country, get a little video. Show the neighbor later. All right, so portal axles, amazing lift ability with portal axles. Instead of messing up the geometry and the symmetry of a vehicle, changing out all kinds of stuff that, I mean, no one has done more research on suspension than the manufacturer has, period, right? If you think for a second, just slapping on some Fox or some King shocks, yes, those are far superior to most factory applications, but there's so much work to make that right. This vehicle has almost 15 inches of ground clearance at the lowest point and damn near like 24 inches of ground clearance at the high point. It's literally riding on 38-inch tires, but because I have portal axles and the geometry and the symmetry of the vehicle are exactly the same as a normal G63, it rides just like a normal G63. This car is on 38-inch tires with over 1.5 feet of ground clearance, and you could easily drive this thing right across country. Even the horses like this car. So, I mean, it's like, yes, it's an extreme off-road vehicle with extreme capability, Had a phone call there, had to jump off, but why did I get a 4x4 squared? Again, guys, I'm a little kid, man. I always wanted to talk to trucks. I always liked that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, do you need this vehicle? No. Is it a vehicle that makes you smile? Yes. So that's why I had it. The only other vehicles, again, that are as capable as this from the factory, and really even with a lot of aftermarket work, are going to be a Hummer H1 that has portal axles, Mercedes 4x4 squared, which is this, has portal axles, and a Mercedes Unimog, which I shouldn't even be counting because that's literally a tractor on paper with a PTO application on it. But if I could ever buy a Unimog in the States that was fully outfitted, I would. But a Mercedes Unimog as well. Outside of a Mercedes Unimog, 4x4 squared, and Hummer H1, nothing else has portal axles. Nothing else offers this level of gearing and this level of ground clearance, which is just pretty cool. So this is a good graph though for everybody. This vehicle has, I think, 577 horsepower, twin turbo V8 with an e-boost electric battery backup. I think it has close to or over 600 foot-pounds of torque, I should know. Now we're on a hill right now, but even on a hill, look at the power we're using to keep this vehicle going. Basically nothing. Basically nothing. And this is where I tell you guys, if you can stay at a boost, keep the 2 turbos on this thing shut down, cruise in this thing, believe it or not, I'm telling you, you can get 16 to 18 miles a gallon, which I was told was unheard of. I said I'm gonna get 8 miles a gallon, all this kind of stuff. No, you won't. Now, if we go to a different graphic on here, it's actually pretty cool. I actually prefer this graphic right here. And if you turn this graphic on, it tells you about everything you need to know. If you do it with your center locker on, it actually gives you some phenomenal off-road information. And then if you want to just kind of cruise along, and again, this is exactly how it is in the G63, and I'm assuming the same way in a G550. I don't know, I've never owned a G550, but I have owned this in another 2021 G63. So this is kind of my cruising screen. So this is what I like. I like knowing what my trip computer's doing over here. I normally keep it on, let me show you the screen. I normally keep it right there. I like this as my center stack. I like my navigation in the right corner. And I typically like to see the engine data and the heating and the cooling stuff that's going on. Not that it matters, I just like to see it. Now, the other thing that's nice about this is you can go down here and turn your navigation on, which lights up the screen. If I can hit the button, there's the button, boom, lights up the screen. Then I come over to my media, hit media, and now it kind of splits the screen, which is neat. So it's showing my cell phone reading on the right. I still have a zoomed out navigation on the left, and I have a zoomed in navigation next to that. So is this the latest and greatest MBUX system? No, not even close. A new Sprinter has a far superior MBUX than a G63, any G-Wagon. So why is that a good thing though? Because Mercedes puts the old stuff in the G-Wagons. Sounds crazy, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about reliability. This is a G-wagon literally is one of the most reliable vehicles ever made in the history of the damn world. So again, it's not a basic vehicle. Are these things expensive? I mean, yeah, they're crazy money. You know what I mean? And whether it's a G550, a G63, or if you're lucky enough to be able to purchase or find or even see a 4x4 squared, they're unique vehicles. If you drive them easy, they're hella reliable. They're very good. One of the benefits of having a vehicle like this in a grid down scenario is that I can go off-road at a moment's notice. I could go through any ditch on the side of the road with zero issue whatsoever. I could push a full-size 3500 truck right out of my way. This is a very heavy vehicle. If you know the weights of these things, you can understand. Very, very heavy car. So you have the ability to push through. You have the ability for front locker, rear locker, center locker, 38-inch tires, over 1.5 feet of ground clearance. And then on top of all that, if you need to ford water, go through a creek to get out of a road, you're stuck in a traffic jam and you got to go through some crazy inclines, crazy ditches, this thing has the capability to do it. So yeah, can you daily drive a G63 4x4 squared? Yeah. And what is the only thing on this vehicle that denotes it as a 4x4 squared versus a G63? One is on the home log here. So you can go to AMG 4x4 squared performance. Has that little toggle right there. It's absolutely nothing. It doesn't give you any off-road mode. And when you click on it, this is the exact same menu that comes up in a normal G63, okay? But again, you know if it's a 4x4 squared because when you go to this menu, that blue box that says 4x4 squared is gonna pop up. The only other thing you know it's a 4x4 squared is that. That's it, on the inside. Everything else on the inside is identical to a G63 or I'm assuming probably a G550 as well. The only other problem about driving a G-Wagon is that I got this unmarked Loudoun County deputy right next to me right here, and he's literally been tailgating the shit out of me for like 3 minutes trying to run this tag, right? You know the crazy part? Watch it. So even though he tailgated me for literally almost 2 miles, the guy's got a headlight out. It's a Loudoun County unmarked motor car with a headlight out. Unreal. All right, so comfort-wise, the G-Wagon is an incredibly comfort vehicle. Guys, I'm 6'5", 240 pounds. I have more headroom in the G-Wagon than any other Ram, Ford, Chevy pickup truck I've ever owned. We've owned all of them, more than any Tesla. We've owned every Tesla brand there is, every Tesla model. There's so much headroom in this car that it's so comfortable if you are a big person. Right over here, I got my heated seat on, I got my heated steering wheel on, and now I think I'm gonna turn my massager on as soon as this police officer turns. Yeah. Loudoun County, taking old Shepherd Mill to cut back to West Virginia. For sure. But you gotta get off the road, Bubba. Get off the road, homie. It's a good way to get clipped. Golly day. Gotta teach these young deputies how to drive for real. One of the worst things is having a younger cop because they typically do not know how to drive, but that's okay. So, comfort-wise, what are some things we can do? So again, we're on cruise control right now at 65. This does not come with the Mercedes assistance packages, right? So like, if you get a normal G63, it'll have some assistance packages on it. If you get anything else besides a G-Wagon, Mercedes will drive itself actually better than a Tesla will. But on the G-Wagon, it's just cruise control, guys. It doesn't even have laser cruise control. It'll run right in the back of a damn car in front of you. The reason, and again, when I say on the G-Wagon, I'm specifically talking about the 4x4 squared, not the G63 or G550. The reason it does that, it's just too much ground clearance, huge tires, the portal axles. You got to be really careful letting this thing make decisions on its own, and you'll be very cautious. So again, over here, we're just going to go back to the vehicle. And again, this is old Mercedes, right? What am I doing? This is old Mercedes stuff, but even though it's old Mercedes stuff, the reason they do that is because it's hyper reliable, never breaks down, always works. So right now I'm turning my heated massage seat on. There's a million different options for this. Oh, it feels so good. So we're rolling. Everything is money. And now we're gonna kick back over here, turn on XM radio. We like XM radio. Pops right up, rock and rolls. Now, how about the sound system? Is the sound system good? Yeah, it's like the Burmaster sound system. Obviously the speakers are covered in aluminum. Everything in this car is like super nice. But for example, if you got into a GLS 63, which I have owned and sold, it's nicer. Because again, Mercedes puts all the new stuff in there. EQS, way nicer. Anything but a G-Wagon is gonna be kind of nicer, but when you get into a G-Wagon, it all works. Everything works, no reliability issues. Everything's a couple years past, so they've worked out all the bugs, all the kinks, all the mechanical, all the electronics. You don't have issues. So, can you daily it? All day. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And if you like a little more traditional view, you can customize the dash, the layout, both screens. You can make it look however you want. You can change the LEDs around inside. I like blue, little common feature, but make it whatever the hell color you want. I prefer this to be in progressive. So what I do is I go here. You go over design, go down to progressive. I like the colors in progressive a lot better. So that's why I use that. Go over here. I like trip to be on the left side. I like navigation to be on the right side. Let me figure out where we at. Here. Stand by. Technical difficulties, and I'm driving. So this is the layout that I use 99% of the time when I'm driving, unless we're off-roading, which I have not off-roaded this yet, to be honest with you. So that's the center stack because I like to see it. It makes the most sense in my head. I normally keep a full screen on the navigation. If I'm listening to the radio, then yeah, I'll just do the split screen so you can see the radio plus the navigation. Super comfortable right now. We got a heated seat. We got a heated steering wheel. We got a massaging seat. And with all that, we're still in one of the best off-roaders ever made in the history of the world. Pretty cool. All right, closing this video out on the rebound trip back home in the G63 4x4 squared. But just a little ambiance look, man, for how it looks at nighttime. If you're in here, it's a good place to be. It's a nice place to be. It's a comfortable place to be. It's a place where you can legitimately just sit back, turn the massaging seat on, open up the damn massagers, and just hang, man. And you can soak up the miles and just roll. So is this an everyday use car? You know, for the cost of it, that's probably not super smart. However, can it be done? Absolutely. Is it a great everyday driving car if you're dealing with bad weather and, you know, crazy? I mean, absolutely. It's about as good as you can possibly get. But to have a vehicle with this level of off-road capability, you should watch TFL's video online. I mean, everybody rates this as the best factory off-road vehicle ever produced. Ever. Yes, you could say a Hummer H1, which also has portal axles, but again, you're talking about a 100% military grade vehicle that's very difficult to find right now, and or a Unimog, which is not even technically a vehicle, it's a tractor with a PTO. But yeah, if you can find me a fully built Unimog in the US to US spec, my God, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. So anyway, that's it. Can it be done? Yes. Yes, you can change this LED to any color you want, obviously, but I like blue. So that's it, man. 2024 Mercedes G-Wagon G63 4x4 squared as a daily driver.